Good morning. It's another beautiful day here on the Darling Downs. Finally, a beautiful day. The last few weeks have just been so overcast, cloudy, rainy, some storms. Finally, we're going to get some sunshine and blue skies today, and yeah, head into some proper winter weather, which around here tends to be clear, cloudless skies. Still nice and warm in the sun, but then some very cold nights. Finally, we're going to get to that. Forecast is showing it's going to be pretty clear on the horizon. Should return to signature winter weather finally. But yeah, it's now been over a month of semen retention, and wow, it's been a while since I've been up this high on the days. And yeah, we're now surpassed the 1 month mark. So I'm definitely going to do these monthly check-ins on this channel just to document different parts of the journey and just do a recap along the way. Like, I'm still doing my daily check-ins on here, but yeah, I'm going to do the monthly recaps as well, just to share any insights I have along the way. Now, this is not my first time reaching a month. I've gone past 90 days around six or seven times, and I don't even remember exactly. Like I've had a fair few 90+ day streaks over the years, so it's not my first time getting higher up in the days. But yeah, really, that first month, cracking that first month can be very hard, especially when you first start. But today, what I want to share is the fact that it's all in your head. It's all in your head, or at least I would say 95% of it is all in your head. Really, it's mostly, maybe not quite that much, but like there is definitely a neurochemical component to it, dopamine, all that. Of course, I'm not discounting that. And I mean, on a physical level, yes, that is what drives the addiction. But an addiction like pornography, for instance, it's deeply soul crushing, and it attacks you at a deep spiritual level. You might not realize it initially, but trust me, when you try to quit, you will realize that this is a spiritual battle. And yeah, just as how porn crushes you on a spiritual level, being on semen retention, so that's, of course, I include cutting out porn in that. It's like there's some guys that are on semen retention but they still watch porn. I think that just entirely defeats the point, and that negates that negates the most important benefit of semen retention that some guys miss. So, all right, the biggest detriment of porn is on a spiritual level, is spiritual in nature, and the greatest benefit of semen retention is spiritual in nature. Yes, the physical stuff is all real as well, like I mentioned with how porn wrecks your dopamine system, and it's a super stimuli, all that similar to certain substances and all that. But the difference is with porn, it's pretty much all mental. Like you're not ingesting any substance, you're not consuming, say, alcohol or smoking or anything like that, like which do actually cause like physical changes in your body. With porn, it's pretty much all mental, and it can be, as a result of that, it can be more difficult to really pin it down. But once you realize that it's not real, it's all fake, and it's all in your head, that's when you can really be empowered and quit this stuff for good. Because trust me, I know how it feels to be stuck in that cycle year after year. And yeah, anyway, so quitting porn is one thing. Being on semen retention, that's a whole other level, right? So it's been over a year since I last watched porn, and I made a few videos talking about that. I made the whole 1 year recap, so go back and watch that if you haven't already. I can highly recommend it. But being on semen retention is a whole other level, because over the year that I quit porn, right, I wasn't on semen retention for most of that time, for longer streaks. I attempted it, but that was a whole other level that I just wasn't ready to unlock at the time. My main focus was quitting porn, which is good. Look, I was clearly able to separate quitting porn and being on semen retention in my mind. Like some guys tend to conflate the two and get them all confused. Like I said, some guys they focus so much on semen retention that they might forget about the porn component. Like there's guys that say like, oh yeah, I have my streak intact. I'm still on semen retention, but oh, I looked at porn yesterday. Well, in my mind, that would completely, it's just defeats the whole purpose in my mind. But my challenge was the opposite. Like I had cut out the porn, but I would still occasionally fap without porn. And look, it was by no means as bad as compared to doing it with porn or doing it excessively like I was doing in the past. I was by no means as bad as I was in the past. But still, like, I've had longer streaks of semen retention to know that when you are on semen retention for a longer period of time, there are profound spiritual benefits that you come. Of course, that you get. Of course, the energy, that's a big one people talk about, having more energy, being able to focus more. That is definitely a benefit, and I have noticed over the last month my ability to focus has improved, and I feel like I have more energy. Like I don't need as much rest to really just keep on going. Like I had some good rest now since finishing uni, but I had some sleepless nights towards the end there, and yeah, if I wasn't on my A game on semen retention, I don't think I would have ended the university trimester on such a strong note as I did. So definitely that has helped me a lot. So yeah, now getting deep into this. It's all mental. It's all in your head. Like even so quitting porn, yes, but I've realized also even the urge to release, the urge to fap, most of it is mental. Now there is a physical component to it, of course. Like as men, of course, we will have urges to release from time to time. That's a normal biological response. There is a normal biological response to it. We shouldn't try to suppress that. Like that's just a part of being human, of course. It's it's not unique to humans either. Like we all have that impulse. The sexual energy is the most powerful energy that we have access to in this physical realm. That's true. And yeah, we shouldn't try to suppress our natural feelings. So we'll have these physical urges, of course. Like that's a part of life. However, what I've realized is that especially with the use of porn, that mental component that can really filter into the urge to release as well. Like I've realized, like even for a while after I quit porn, right? Like I would then get the urge to fap relatively excessively, man. Like it's a strange thing. Like I think like what I've realized over time is the longer as I cut out porn, eventually got to the point where I just felt like, you know what, I just want to be on retention as well. I don't want to be in this limbo state where it's like I'm half in, half out. I wanted to be fully committed to this journey. And yeah, eventually got to the point where I realized that most of the time the urge to say fap, even without porn, is also just mental thing. Like, even when I would get no physical urges, it would just be as a response to certain triggers that come up. Like in our modern fast-paced society, there's so many triggers everywhere. You can see it in advertisements, TV, and social media, of course, has a lot to answer for. That is probably the biggest trigger that we have these days, social media, especially certain platforms like Instagram. So that's why I ought to say, those of you who are early on in the journey, I will highly recommend quit social media, get off the platforms. You don't have to delete them entirely. I still have social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, but I've deleted them off my phone. I'll only log in on the odd occasion just to check certain messages, but I've basically decided to stop using those platforms entirely. Let's go. Here. Let's go, Lara. Here. Let's go. I don't want her to go and swim in that muddy pond. Here. Here. Let's go. Let's go. Run this way. Don't want her to go swimming. It's all dirty and muddy here after all this rain we've been having. Okay, let's walk this way. So, yeah, the majority of it, even up to 90% of it is all just mental, really. Like, yeah, there'll be days where you can really tell, like, okay, I have a physical urge right now, but most of it is all just mental. Even when I might not have any physical urges, I might occasionally get this thought, oh, let's go do this. Like it's with several addictions, especially behavioral addictions. Like there's physical addictions, of course, alcohol, drugs, which I have largely avoided. I've never done any sort of illicit substances. Alcohol, yeah, I've dabbled my toes in alcohol a bit, so I've experienced what alcohol can do. But yeah, never smoked, never done any other substances. For the most part, physical addictions I have entirely avoided, which I'm very glad about. So yeah, but porn is a behavioral addiction, and yeah, social media and a few others, behavioral addictions, right? And behavioral addictions have seen a big increase, of course, since we've got the internet, social media, all that. It's only gotten worse now with all the AI slop and the crap that we see online. So yeah, behavioral addictions, they might not seem as debilitating as physical addictions on the surface. Like, trust me, I've seen what alcoholism can do to people. I've had family members that have really struggled with alcoholism, not in my immediate family, but extended family. I've seen what it can do, and yeah, look, it's not pretty. If anyone who knows alcoholics, yeah, it's not pretty, believe me. So that's not to minimize physical addiction, but I think in some ways behavioral addictions like porn can be a lot more insidious, because it's just hard to pinpoint them. It's hard to point them down. Like a physical addiction, yes, okay, you ingest this substance and that you become addicted to that, and like you become dependent on that. That of course does lead to the neurochemical imbalance, but fundamentally, like, you are ingesting a certain substance, and you can sort of tell, okay, that's where the problem is stemming from. What you need to do is stop ingesting the substance. But with a behavioral addiction in our minds, it can be harder to pinpoint. That's why so many people don't even realize that PMO is such a big problem, because they just think, oh yeah, everyone does it. It's a normal behavior. Like, you're not hurting anyone. La, la, la. You're not directly even hurting yourself. Some people might not see that connection because you're not directly taking anything in or consuming anything. But the problem is, consumption is not just limited to the physical, of course. If you are not, this is the way I see it. There are different levels to everything. Yeah, there's a physical, there can be physical level, of course, the mental level, and then on a deeper level, it's a spiritual level. And because porn is not something you directly consume physically, I think it compensates, then affects you more on a spiritual level compared to some other addictions. I mean, I've heard people say with alcohol, of course, that there's a spiritual component to all addictions. Alcohol, especially, you can really go into a deep rabbit hole with that, as I have been. Like, do you know where the word alcohol even comes from? It comes from the Arabic term, I believe. It's an Arabic term, like alcohol or alcohol or something like that. I forgot the exact term, but alcohol, something like that. And basically, in English, it translates to body-eating spirit. Body-eating spirit. So yeah, it's interesting when you look into going down those rabbit holes, and why, say, in Arabic countries, why that part of the world became so avoidant with alcohol. Like in Islam, of course, alcohol is entirely prohibited. So it's interesting when you look into that, like why it comes from even before Islam, for instance. As it's not, alcohol prohibitions are not just limited to Islam, of course, but today it largely is. That's Islamic societies are largely the societies where alcohol is pretty much entirely prohibited for the most part. But yeah, and it's just interesting when you think like the way things are termed as well, like spirits. Why is alcohol called spirits? Because in the past, man, people knew that alcohol can affect you on a deeply spiritual level, and when you like translate it like that, like body eating spirit, like it starts to become a lot clearer, where you can see people consume alcohol, what it does to them. It's really dangerous. It's really powerful and dangerous stuff, and that's what also has made me realize. I've been going down this rabbit hole, especially since I was in Sri Lanka. Like I've never had any real problems with alcohol. Like since I came back from in Sri Lanka, I did consume alcohol, right? But since returning home, it's been like half a year later, I've not touched the stuff, right? But I've really been going down this rabbit hole where I've been looking into what really is alcohol? What does it really do? Like, of course there's a physical level, but then there's a spiritual component as well. So yeah, really look at it for its different components. Like porn, the problem, it's people that recognize it as an addiction because it doesn't affect us so much on a physical level, but spiritually, if you are addicted to porn, you will know on a deeply spiritual level, you will know how it can affect you. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say for this one. So I'm very glad to be free from porn. I'm very glad to be on semen retention, because ultimately it's all about energy. It's all about energy. And yeah, 90% of it is in your head. Like, if you're in the early days, if you're struggling, I will say just aim for 2 to 3 weeks. Aim for 2 to 3 weeks. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long. Like, I see a mistake, guys focus a lot on, okay, I need to go for get to the 90 days, I need to go for the year. If you think of it in that way, especially when you start, it's very hard to get a longer streak going, because it's like, oh damn, I've still got so long to go. Trust me, it gets easier. It does. It doesn't mean that you'll never get urges, even if you get a higher streak. Like, I've been above 90 days before, and trust me, like, just because of reaching 90 days, it doesn't mean you're going to be entirely in the clear. There'll always be good days, bad days, challenges, times when you get hit by urges, but it does get easier to keep going over time. Like, for myself, I found the 2 to 3 week mark to be the most challenging time in terms of urges to relapse. 2 to 3 weeks. I found if I can especially get above the 3 week mark, that's essentially means I'm good. I'm good. Like, since I got to the 3 week mark, really haven't had any significant urges. I mean, I've been in a bit of a flat line, of course, so that has helped as well to minimize those physical urges. But believe me, even if you're in a flat line, that's when the mental urges can really like kick in, and those negative thought patterns that might really then be an even more powerful force to get you to go and relapse. So just remember, when you get urges, most of the time, try to like slow down and recognize, is this a real physical urge, or is this all in my head? That's not to minimize the impact of non-physical urges. Of course, it can be just as powerful. And again, placebo is a big thing, like, as well. Like, so in a sense, like, a lot of times people say, no FAP, semen retention, it's all just placebo. Well, equally, I can say a lot of the time, the urge to go and watch porn and to FAP, it's also placebo. It's not real. It's not real. It's all in your head. So why should, by that logic, then there's no point really to go to watch porn or FAP most of the time either, using these people's logic against them. So yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to say. But yeah, overall, like, life is good, life's improving. I've still got some work to do. I've it's going to be a while, an interesting while ahead of me, interesting time ahead of me, I should say. And oh yes, the sun is finally coming up. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You'll love to see it. Where are these people going? Are they going to the gym, I wonder? Where are they going? Can't quite see. Where are they going? Let's go this way. Where's that damn ball gone? It's up here. Alright. So, yeah. Trust me, it doesn't take long. If you struggle with no-fap, semen retention, staying away from porn, start small, right? First, aim for a week, go 7 days. Then say 10 days, 14 days, a 2 week mark. And then, I would say just work yourself up to 3 weeks, okay? If you can get to 3 weeks, trust me, it will become a lot easier. They do say that it does tend to take 21 days, 3 weeks to form a new habit. But yeah, I found 3 weeks, that definitely is, there's some element of truth to that. I think it doesn't mean that it's going to be completely easy and you can't be off your A game before the 3 week mark, like after the 3 week mark. It'll take time, of course. It can take longer than that. It varies from person to person. For myself, this time around, I don't think it's taking as long. I think I am fast tracking it a bit because I already have had longer streaks. But trust me, when starting out, it definitely did take a while to really solidify this into a lifestyle change. But yeah, just get past 2 to 3 weeks, and it will indeed become much easier. So don't aim so high to start with. Just do what you can, aim for the 2 to 3 week mark, and yeah, you'll be all right. So yes, that is strange. I don't know why they're just driving up and down there. There's nothing up here. There's just one guy's house at the end of here, and yeah, I don't know why. I went on the wrong road. There's meant to be there's a road, through road at the end there. So that's it. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay strong, and I will catch you all in the next one. Onwards and upwards.